Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. And so glad to have you joining in here today, wherever you are tuning in from around the world. I want to welcome you to the channel, and those of you who have been watching for a while, you know what I'm going to say next. Smash that like button. This helps get this channel out to more people, helps to support the channel. Really appreciate that. Also, thanks so much for all the comments, the kind words that have come in. Certainly do appreciate that. Appreciate every single one of you take time out of your day to put something in the comments, and the questions I do look to get back to as soon as I am able to. Okay, also the links are in the description below. There are a lot of links there. The cheat sheet is there. It's the top link. I've made it very easy to find. So if you want to see all of my entries and take profit levels, plus a bunch of other tons of links and resources, all the free airdrops that are going on, don't forget about those. They're all coming up as well. Please check out the cheat sheet. The Discord link is also on the cheat sheet, but it's also below in the descriptions, as well as my Twitter link as well. Make sure that if you're not signed up for the Discord, that's a great community to be involved in. The best, the Stocks with Josh Discord community. I'm in the crypto channel there daily, interacting with such amazing people. So get started and signed up with that. Okay, we're going to jump into the news, and really the news is going to be about the federal rate cut. Now, are you ready for the most anticipated event this year until the next one, right? And 63% chance, 50. I don't like how it says 63% chance. I don't give it a 63% chance of 50 basis points. I give it a 1% chance of a 50 basis point rate hike. I give it a 98% chance of 25 and a 1% chance they're just going to leave it. I would be quite shocked if they went to 50 or 0. I think they would be harshly criticized if they did either. 50 is saying you made a mistake at the last meeting and you've got to make up for it. And 0 is just saying you've got your head stuck in the sand and the economy really needs this. And 25 is just going to be right, okay? So very, very, very interesting there. I believe Q4 is when the magic will happen for the equities market. We will just see. Interest rates, by the way, can't cause recessions. I agree with that. But when there is risk for recession, interest rate cuts are needed. I think that statement is spot on, and I really do agree with that. I couldn't have said it better myself. A bit of prediction yesterday, and then I thought Emperor must have been watching my video. Fed rate cuts tomorrow, making it cheap for the market to borrow money. After 4 years, this is what I expect. The market instantly pumped. This is what I said yesterday. Go back to my video. Holders at an event, trading, retails take profit, market dumps. This is what I said yesterday. And then I said, sell the news, event, dip, and accumulation. Verse 4, number 4, I'm not reading a book here. People lose hope. Market becomes clean. We pump nonstop after inducing the boredom. And so, yeah, I do think my best prediction is here are my predictions. I'll repeat them here. 25 bips basis point rate cut. Number 2, I think the market pumps on that news. Number 3, I think the market is going to drop, and it might coincide with Powell speaking a few hours after that. The market then does drop on him speaking. That's certainly there, or maybe it drops a little bit into it because the market knows, when he starts to speak, quite often there's a bit of a dump. So we could see that. Only very dovish and positive. It might pump a little bit, but I do expect a pullback. And I do expect that will possibly be the last opportunity. Now, the only thing I can say is that sometimes when the market expects all of that to happen, it does the opposite, right? It does the opposite. So we'll see. So I see some kind of form of that happening, maybe not just quite on that timeline. And that could take, I'm not saying I'm not going to say that I think it will. I think it will jump on that news. I'm not saying that it will instantly dump Let's see how that timeline plays out. But those are the steps. I think this is those here, and I'm not sure that get bored. I think there's just going to be a lot of volatility. So I don't necessarily agree with this fourth statement. I think up to number 3 is where I'll come up to here for that one there. Okay, so now we have, like I said, Powell speaking. Will be on Powell during the speech. If he mentions anything about a recession, market will nuke. Oh dear. But if he reassures that everything is under control, markets could pump exponentially. Be prepared for volatility. One man, don't bet against the Fed, is all I can say there. So a lot of what I say today it could go out the window depending on what this man says at his talks. Okay, very interesting. The ETFs, I think, were very optimistic because they acquired 250 million of Bitcoin yesterday. That's the most in over a month. So do they know? Do they have the inside line? What are they thinking? That's a lot of Bitcoin to pick up at around 60K when they could have bought it a little bit lower. What do they know? Is there confirmation there that we're going to see the market just pump away? Let's see what happens there. Very interesting. We did close one of the CME gaps, which got on below at 53, and we may or may not fill it. So if it does, that would be a buy the dip opportunity, of course. And so we have filled that one that is a lot higher. What did I say about the CME gaps? They tend to get filled, and lately, just in like the last 6-7 months or so, they tend to get filled sooner rather than later. Remember, CME gaps don't always have to get filled. I think this one will get filled eventually, even if it doesn't get filled right away. And if we take off, we can come back, fill it at a much later time. But certainly that's something to be aware of. If you don't know what the CME, just Google CME futures or type in the CME gap in Google, and you can educate yourself on that there. All right, Bitcoin is primed for a rally. In past cycles, whenever the monthly stochastic RSI pulled back to the 50-cent line, a massive rally soon followed. It just did it again. And so certainly this is a very pivotal and interesting moment here. Are we about to nuke off and have another rally in Bitcoin? Okay, very, very interesting. I would like to say that there were so many these influencers on YouTube. And look, I think some of it's paid FUD, in my opinion. It was saying, Bitcoin's going down to the 40-somethings. And while I said 42, 43, and some even said 30-something. And while I said that I felt there was a small chance, because anything's possible, it was the least likely. I didn't think it was likely at all. I did say I felt the bottom was in on September 6th, and that has turned out to be correct. The local bottom is in, and the August bottom, I said was in when it was in, and it was in, and July was the same. And so let's see what shakes out from here, though. If we pump up a little bit higher, 65K is going to be a huge area of resistance there. That's where we broke down from. But let's look at the charts quickly here. And don't forget, I have my altcoin show going live in a couple of hours. This show generally will go live at about 6:45 a.m. to 7 a.m., 7:15 a.m., maybe at the latest Eastern Standard Time. And the altcoin show will go live around 9:45 to 10 a.m. So you can set that down every day, 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday. I'll be bringing these shows to you at pretty much about those times. So if that helps you plan your day, set your alarm and be ready to get this, because sometimes there are trades on here that happen as I'm talking, and you can get in on those trades. So we can see here, this is on the hourly chart. We can see just a big pump up here. We just absolutely smashed through the 50-day. And it looks like we could be coming back to retest that at around 59,292. If we jump out to the 4-hour time frame, we can see here, again, we've got this level here, that this could be a good entry. Now, the top, so this could be a good entry here if you wanted to go long. 58,942 is where the 200 EMA is on the 4-hour time frame. Now, if we flip out to the daily here, we can see that we are just loving this. 200 EMA has been a bit of a magnet. It really has. And I just show you how important this has been, as we can see that we break down. We don't go too far from it. We come back up, break above, don't go too far from it, come back, and we just back up again. No, we just pulled back as a magnet. Did we start to go down? No, we just got to come back to the 200 EMA, and off we come again. Now there's a big wick there, coming back to the 200 EMA. The best entry, in my opinion, is the 200 EMA on the daily, which is converging right where the 50-day moving average is. So these two now, that's crossed below. And I showed yesterday what happened when these cross below. Generally, we'll see far after. Last time it took a month to play out. October, it really took off, just went parabolic. Certainly, this is generally historically a good opportunity to buy the markets when we see Bitcoin on or around the 200 EMA. And the fact the 50-day moving average is there as well, and I think it's crossed under there, which is actually quite bearish for it to go under. We want to see that pop back up. But certainly there, that would be a possible entry there, 900 there, down to there, bouncing off there. That would be an entry to jump in with a long, or if you wanted to add some to your bags, or if you want to swing trade it, there's an entry right there. Certainly if you weren't trying to accumulate for the long term, you could put your stop loss right under there at 58,500. You could put a stop loss there for that trade, or if you want a much less of aggressive one, certainly put it under this low here, is low, which was 57,600, or the day before's low, which is 57,493. So you could also have a less aggressive stop loss as well for Bitcoin. So what am I expecting is we could see some fireworks. We really could. We could see Bitcoin jump very quickly up to around this 63 to 65K region. Remember, this is where we broke down from, this region here. We got 63,700 all the way up this Lux algo orders here up to about 64,900. So this here is a really significant block to get through if we want to continue on. You can see we had here, we had a little bit of trouble getting through before we popped up over here. And then when we popped up, we came back, retested it, popped up again, came back to it to retest it, failed the retest before a real flush down. And so this level is absolutely massive. We can break above here, 64,900, let's say 65, retest it, then I think we're gone at that point. We should be shooting very quickly up to about that 69, 70K level where we'll have more. Now, if we do break down from here, so let's say that market rate comes in and we pump up to here. This would be where I'd be looking to take profits, by the way. See a flush back down, and the perfect scenario for me is we pump up to here, come back down, retest this, and everybody's like crying and thinking it's going to come on down. Retest this as support, and then this would be a great place to enter the trade here. You could enter it, go up, back, take a trade up, then come back for a retest, get back in the trade again before going up. Now, obviously, if we just get a little bit of an itty-bitty small pump up to this area to kind of where we were and just fill that wick or a little bit higher, then quite weak. And then might fail the retest here. And it looks like, we could even retest this before the rate hike decision even comes down. I mean, I'm not sure why we're selling off here, but certainly with 25 basis points expected, that's very bullish rate cut. Now, obviously coming down, the first levels here obviously are these two candles here that are pretty close together. Generally this one here, because the lower one of it down below the 57.93. So if we were to lose that, we would be creating a lower low, and then we would be targeting the next low on the daily, which is this big one right here. And this one here, the low is 55,545. Now we may just come and fill about half of that candle here. The wick, there's a very long wick there, and so we may just fill about half of that, which would be around the 56 level. And so, and you've got this candle there at around 56. So I'd be looking, if we were to break down from this 200 EMA, and first of all, we got to break down, retest it is resistance and then get rejected, then yeah, I would see we could if we could take out this wick or test this wick. If we hold above this wick, that would be fairly bullish. And if we keep making closes there without making a lower low and not losing that low from the 16th, then I would expect it to break back above fairly quickly. However, if we lose this low and we see quite a long wick away from here, or a close that is quite far away from the 200 EM here today, or the next day, depending on what happens over the next 24 to 48 hours, I do see us coming down and looking at this kind of liquidity right here. Around this 55 to 56K level right there. So let's see what shakes out. It will be a very, very interesting. I will be in the Discord as all the action happens. It will be very exciting as that plays out. And certainly a lot of this charting and price will be affected, first of all, by whether or not what kind of rate hike decision there would be. I don't know, 50 basis points a little bit panicky for me, and I think actually the market may not react as bullish as people expect to that, because they're like, well, this feels very recessionary. So we'll just see what happens with that. It'll be very, very interesting. I personally would not like to see a 50 basis point rate hike. I'd like to see 25. I think that's on the money. I definitely would not like to see 0. I don't think we should hold the status quo. 25 is on the money. I think that's the button I think that he's going to push, and I think that's going to be most bullish for the market. Short term, you might be able to get a quick trade. Let's see if there's now a pullback when he talks, or before he talks, the people freak out, and let's see what the market happens. Overall, my bigger picture as I zoom out, do feel the same, is that between now and around about the first week or two of October, we should see the market begin to go. And that could happen anytime. It could happen today, could happen tomorrow, could happen next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I just feel that the most important thing is to be ready for whatever happens. Have your bags packed, ready to go no matter what. Have some dry powder in case there's one last or more opportunities to accumulate at that time at the prices that you want to get in on your favorite coins. And until the next episode, which is going to be in a couple of hours at around 9:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, my altcoin show, and we've got a cracker of a show here today for the altcoin show. Some exciting things to share with you, so I hope you tune in for that also. But until then, happy trading.